find that the urban history is so massive. It's really interesting. And I produced the biggest handout I've ever produced. And even there, I had to hold myself back a lot because there's so much there and it's so interesting. But I want to talk you through some of the things in the handout. And again, I'm going to keep referring to things that Olwyn said anyway. You'll see that on the cover, I have a lovely view of a Belfast street in the 1900s, 1910s. And it actually took me a while to figure out what street it was, but it's Bridge Street. Now, as you can tell, there's no sign of a bridge any longer, because everything's been built over, but it's still, the name is there to remind you. Also, Bridge Street was badly bombed during the war, so everything on the left-hand side has now disappeared. They've broadened the street, and there's now cash converters on the corner. Not that you've ever used it, but I'm sure just as a point of reference. Now, if we turn over the page, you'll see that I have given a clip of the school register. And this is for the Sandy Road School. And again, very local area. But what I liked about this was it does show you where the children went to school. And you've got kids coming in from Scotland and from Carrickfergus. And that's just a nice sort of way of showing you where people were coming from. If that's where they went to school before, they must have lived there. But people are coming in to the city to settle there and send their kids to school there. And again, a lot of the rural schools that were built in the areas like Purdue or Ballysillan or whatever, little schoolhouses that had started to cater for a small number of children were swamped and became assimilated into the city and then became too small to cope. But there are lots of school records as well, so you can investigate that whether through the ED records or the SEH records. On the other page, I've created some street directories. I think street directories are fascinating. We have, I think the first, could be corrected in this, but I think our earliest directory starts at about 1809. And with gaps, they do go up all the way to the 1990s. Now, you can see the books actually getting thicker and thicker as time progresses. It's become quite massive. And the title gets a wee bit smaller as they try and cram everything in. And equally of interest are the trade directories, because when you're looking through those, you can see the wealth and the variety of trades that are practiced in Belfast. And some of them I wouldn't even know what they are anymore, but they are really fascinating reading. And again, if you turn the page again, Olwyn mentioned the census records, and again, I just put out the sort of information, in case you're not familiar with them. You will get a lot of information. You'll get the given name, the surname, the age, the gender, the relationships of each other in the family, their religion, and where they came from originally. And quite often you will see a lot of people coming from outside Belfast, so they would put the county down. Now, they might not actually, County Antrim could still be in Belfast, but the likelihood is they would have put Belfast if they had come from there, but so the chances are they had moved from the countryside in. So you get a lot of information there, and again, you can compare that with the 1911 census as well. And unfortunately, although I wanted to, I didn't have room to put in stats, so I just wanted to put a wee chart. But anyway, I'm moving on rapidly now to the valuation books. The valuation books, again, as Olwyn has mentioned, are great for tracing localities and how things change. There's also the valuation maps to go with these, and these are available again in PRONI. Beagle will give you the books. It's okay, okay. Now, one of the things when people did move into towns, their way of living had to change. From a rural background where they would have grown most of their own vegetables and things, they had to start buying them. And obviously the corner shop started to grow up, and that's very common. Practically every corner in Belfast had a wee shop. That one is off the Governor Road in Belfast. I really like it. He looks so proud of his shop, doesn't he? And again, clubs. The picture below shows the Willowfield Unionist Club. So that was upstairs, and downstairs it's shared its premises with a boot factory. So again, people were getting to the stage where they had to wear boots in town instead of throwing them out barefooted. And running through these, very quickly, but they are all available. One of the other things was the services that they had to provide. Again, in the past, the rural community would have had a local milkman, they would have had a cow or whatever. But now they actually had to have these services delivered or brought in the shop. And the things like dairies, bakeries, all of these grew up to cater for the working people. And after a while, instead of horse and cart, it did get motorised, and it just looked as photographs. And talking of motorised, we also had to transport people. As the city spread further and further, it became too time consuming to walk. So you had to get a bus or a cart in. And originally there were the horse-drawn trams, but then that became electrified. And with the growth of the trams, so the city could grow even more because it was more and more possible to live further and further out. And the trams were relatively cheap. But what made it even better, if you turn the page again, you'll see the old Pioneer Railway Station. And again, because trains were cheap, it meant people no longer had to live in Belfast. As well as being a holiday destination, Bangor then became a town you could actually live in and travel into Belfast to work. So one town actually fed the other in a way. Final page. Obviously, one of the things when the city grows, it does tend to get a bit congested. And in the late 1800s, they did realise that really you did need breathing space. So they started to create parks. And Ormer Park was one of the first public spaces laid out as a park now for people. Other parks quickly followed, and I'm sure there were other areas as well. And then in the early 1900s, cycling became very, very popular. And you would get all sorts of cycling clubs springing up. And one of the things they encouraged was people to cycle out from the crowded city into the countryside for fresh air. So that's just a few things that I touched on to show you what we have in PRONI that backs up everything that Olwyn said. So thank you very much for listening. Can I ask you please to fill in your feedback forms? And can I also ask, if you'd like to be put on our mailing list, if you put your email address on the form as well, that would be really appreciated. Our next lecture is actually the final one in the series.